Your arteries don't just clog because of fat, they clog because of fire. That fire is chronic inflammation, the silent driver behind heart disease, stroke, and rising cholesterol. And while most people focus on numbers like LDL or blood pressure, they miss the deeper threat hiding beneath it all. The good news? Certain foods don't just fight inflammation, they actually help repair the damage. In this video, we're breaking down the top 7 anti-inflammatory foods that protect your heart from the inside out. These aren't trends or superfood fads. They're real, proven, and most importantly, delicious. Berries, nature's tiny inflammation fighters. They're small, they're sweet, and they just might be one of the most powerful tools you can eat to protect your heart from the damage of chronic inflammation. We're talking about berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. These aren't just colorful toppings for yogurt or oatmeal. They're antioxidant bombs loaded with compounds that calm the exact kind of inflammation linked to heart disease. The secret? Anthocyanins, the pigments that give berries their rich red, purple, and blue hues. These antioxidants help neutralize free radicals in the body, unstable molecules that damage cells, inflame tissues, and trigger a cascade of problems in your blood vessels. When this oxidative stress hits your arteries, it makes LDL cholesterol more likely to oxidize, stick to artery walls, and form plaque. That's where berries come in. A meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who ate berries regularly had lower levels of CRP-C-reactive protein, one of the most reliable markers of systemic inflammation. Another study in the Journal of Nutrition showed that just 1 cup of blueberries per day improved endothelial function. That's how well your blood vessels expand and contract in adults at risk for heart disease. And the benefits aren't just long-term, they're measurable in weeks. Berries are also rich in fiber, which supports gut health, regulates blood sugar, and helps eliminate excess cholesterol. When your gut is healthy, your immune system calms down, and inflammation drops throughout your body, including your arteries. Here's the best part. Berries are versatile and low in calories. Toss them into smoothies. Stir them into oatmeal. Add them to a spinach salad with walnuts and balsamic vinegar, or just eat them by the handful. Frozen berries work just as well as fresh, and they're available year-round. Just watch out for added sugars in packaged versions. A cup a day is all it takes to see the benefits, and your arteries will feel the difference. Extra virgin olive oil, liquid gold for your arteries. If there's one ingredient that holds the crown in every heart-healthy kitchen, it's this: extra virgin olive oil. Not just olive oil, extra virgin the first cold press. Unrefined, rich in polyphenols kind. For decades, researchers puzzled over why people in Mediterranean regions had lower rates of heart disease, despite eating bread, cheese, and pasta. The answer? Their meals were drenched in olive oil, and not by accident. Olive oil isn't just a source of healthy fat. It's a deeply anti-inflammatory food with a direct impact on your cardiovascular system. Its power comes from a unique combination of monounsaturated fats, mostly oleic acid, and polyphenols, especially one called oleocanthal, which works much like ibuprofen in the body, blocking inflammatory enzymes linked to arterial damage. A pivotal study called the Pre-Dimed Trial put olive oil to the test. Over 7,000 participants at high risk for cardiovascular disease were followed for several years. Those who consumed a Mediterranean diet enriched with extra virgin olive oil had significantly lower levels of CRP, lower incidence of heart attacks, and improved cholesterol ratios, all without major lifestyle changes. But what does that look like in practice? Just 2 to 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil per day, used in cooking or drizzled over salads, grains, or vegetables, is enough to see the benefits. The key is consistency, not quantity. And no, the calories from olive oil don't lead to weight gain when it's replacing unhealthy fats. In fact, studies show that people who consume more olive oil tend to weigh less and have smaller waistlines, likely due to improved insulin sensitivity and reduced systemic inflammation. But here's the trick: quality matters. You want unfiltered, cold-pressed, and dark glass bottled olive oil with a harvest date on the label, not the ultra-refined versions that sit on shelves for years. If it smells peppery, grassy, or slightly bitter, that's a good thing. Those are signs of high polyphenol content and high anti-inflammatory power. Use it to sauté greens. Mix it into hummus. Drizzle it over lentil soup or whole grain toast. Skip the margarine and butter. This oil doesn't just coat your food, it coats your arteries with protection. For heart health, olive oil isn't just a cooking ingredient, it's therapy in every golden spoonful. Fatty fish, the heart's natural armor. If there's one food that consistently shows up in every heart-healthy study, it's fatty fish. Not just because it's high in protein, but because it's rich in omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, the kind your body can't make on its own. These omega-3s aren't just good fats. They're active anti-inflammatory agents that help cool down the immune overactivity that leads to arterial damage, plaque buildup, and stiffened blood vessels. When you eat fatty fish, you're not just fueling your body, you're literally soothing your arteries from the inside. So how does it work? EPA and DHA reduce triglyceride levels, a key blood fat that rises with inflammation and poor diet. They also help improve the behavior of LDL particles, making them less likely to oxidize and stick to artery walls. And they raise HDL, the good cholesterol that helps clean excess fat from your blood. In one landmark review published in JAMA, people who consumed just 2 servings of fatty fish per week saw significantly lower risk of heart attacks, strokes, and cardiovascular-related death. Another study in the Circulation Research Journal found that omega-3 intake was directly correlated with lower levels of CRP, the same inflammatory marker linked to heart disease risk. So what counts as fatty fish? Think salmon, sardines, mackerel, anchovies, and herring. Small, oily, and rich in the omega-3s that matter most. Unlike tuna or larger fish, these are also lower in mercury, making them safer to eat regularly. Try roasted salmon with lemon and herbs. Add canned sardines to avocado toast. Toss mackerel flakes into a salad. Even a quick anchovy-based dressing can deliver therapeutic benefits. And yes, frozen or canned fish still work. Just aim for 2 servings per week, about 3 to 4 ounces per serving. That's enough to support healthy cholesterol levels and reduce systemic inflammation. If you're plant-based, algae oil supplements offer a clean, vegan source of DHA and can be just as effective at lowering triglycerides when taken consistently. At the end of the day, fatty fish is more than a food. It's one of the most potent, proven ways to protect your heart without a prescription. Legumes, the silent workhorses of heart health. Beans, lentils, chickpeas. They may not look exciting, but when it comes to fighting inflammation and protecting your heart, legumes are the quiet heroes of the nutrition world. Most people overlook them. They think of them as filler, a side dish, a salad topping, maybe a meat substitute. But what they're really doing in your body is extraordinary. Legumes are loaded with soluble fiber, plant proteins, polyphenols, and magnesium, a combination that cools inflammation, lowers LDL cholesterol, and nourishes your gut microbiome. And all of those pathways lead straight to a healthier heart. So what makes them so effective? Soluble fiber is key. Just like with oats or flaxseed, the fiber in legumes binds to cholesterol-rich bile acids in your digestive tract and helps eliminate them through waste. This forces your liver to pull more LDL cholesterol out of your blood to make new bile, lowering your numbers over time. But the benefits go further. Legumes are rich in polyphenols, antioxidant compounds that reduce oxidative stress in your arteries. When inflammation is high, LDL particles are more likely to oxidize and stick to artery walls, triggering plaque formation. Antioxidants help interrupt that process before it starts. One study published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal found that eating just 1 serving of legumes per day lowered LDL cholesterol by 5% and improved total cholesterol ratios. Another study in Nutrients linked higher legume consumption with significantly lower CRP and other inflammation markers, even when other dietary factors were controlled. Legumes also help regulate blood sugar, another critical factor in managing inflammation. Stable blood sugar means lower insulin levels, less fat storage in the liver, and fewer inflammatory cascades. And they're incredibly versatile. Toss black beans into grain bowls. Make lentil soup or hummus. Add chickpeas to your salad, or blend white beans into creamy dips and sauces. Even roasted chickpeas make a satisfying, crunchy snack loaded with fiber and heart benefits. They're affordable, accessible, and packed with plant-based nutrients that your arteries crave. Don't underestimate the humble bean. It may just be the most underrated anti-inflammatory food in your kitchen. Colorful vegetables, nature's built-in inflammation fighters. They might not come in fancy packaging or with trendy health claims, but bright, colorful vegetables are some of the most powerful anti-inflammatory foods you can put on your plate, especially for heart health. We're talking about red bell peppers, carrots, beets, sweet potatoes, purple cabbage, kale. The deeper and more vibrant the color, the more antioxidant power these plants deliver. That color isn't just for show. It's a direct indicator of phytonutrients, compounds like beta-carotene, anthocyanins, lycopene, and lutein, all of which help reduce inflammation at the cellular level and protect the lining of your blood vessels. Here's what makes this food group so critical for your arteries. First, these vegetables are rich in vitamin C and polyphenols, both of which fight oxidative stress, the underlying cause of LDL oxidation, plaque formation, and artery stiffness. They also contain nitrates, especially in beets and leafy greens, which help improve blood flow by relaxing and widening blood vessels. One study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that higher intakes of carotenoid-rich vegetables, like carrots and sweet potatoes, were associated with significantly lower levels of CRP, the inflammatory marker most closely linked to cardiovascular risk. But that's not all. Colorful vegetables are packed with fiber, both soluble and insoluble, which supports gut health, regulates blood sugar, and helps flush excess cholesterol from the body. And the lower your blood sugar spikes, the less inflammation your body has to deal with. Try building meals around color: roasted carrots with turmeric, red cabbage slaw with olive oil and vinegar, beet hummus on whole grain toast, or a sweet potato mash with garlic and cumin. Add kale or spinach to soups. Stir sautéed peppers into your eggs or grain bowls. Use rainbow vegetables as the base of your meals, not just the garnish. Every color brings its own benefit, and together they form a natural defense system against heart disease. In a world of overcomplicated diets, colorful vegetables offer the simplest and most beautiful path to a stronger heart.